All right, I think we're live. I'm going to check because I always do this when I go live into the group. I can never tell unless it pops up on my Facebook.
I've got it as a notification, so I guess we are.
Awesome. Happy days. Cool. Let's mute that on. Good to go. Awesome. All right, hey there, guys. Again, thanks for joining us. We are obviously live, and we're going to try, like we're doing regularly, all these regular interviews on the group. We're doing interviews with experts and also interviews with you guys as well, who are using the software. And of course, now we are joined by the amazing Stephen Craven, who's agreed to come on tonight and have a chat with us a bit about what he does. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that just yet. I'm going to let him explain kind of who he is, introduce himself properly, and a bit about what he currently does. I will say though that I've not personally worked with Stephen, but a lot of my clients have, who I work with, and they say nothing but good things about you and the results that you get. So
great,
yeah,
good to hear it.
Yeah, it's always good. So yeah, what we just do, guys, as well, if you are listening in, just drop some of your questions into the comments. We're going to be here for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most. So any questions you've got, about online marketing, about advertising, just drop it into the comments, and yeah, hopefully we can answer them towards the end. Cool. So yeah, Steve, do you want to give us a quick introduction and tell us a bit about what you currently do?
Sure. So as Ashley said, Stephen Craven. I am primarily a digital marketing agency owner and founder. I run a company called Clicks into Customers UK, a small bespoke fitness orientated marketing agency based in sunny Cheshire. Very sunny today. I've been very happy with the weather. It's a rare occurrence. So yeah, we are a small team, 8 staff who work pretty much, I'd say 99% now. So we have a small set of clients who are outside of this, but 99.9% of our work is done within the fitness industry. So with suppliers into the fitness industry, PT distinction, like education suppliers such as onlinefitnessbusiness.com, and a lot of other suppliers into the education sector of the fitness industry. And then with physical facilities, so gyms, studios, and fitness celebrities in inverted commas, guys who are driving into digital product, make up the vast majority of our clientele. And that's kind of what we do right now. I also assist Succeed at onlinefitnessbusiness.com with coaching and mentoring his students on how to use digital marketing effectively to run their own online fitness businesses. And I'm involved in a small Facebook group with a chap called Mike Samuels called The Business of Words, and our coaching group on the back of that called The Business of Words Turbo, where we both use our relevant skill sets. Mike's a absolute wizard, things copy, and I use my sort of knowledge around marketing to help business owners drive new leads and sales into their company. So that's kind of me in a nutshell, I guess.
Awesome. Sounds perfect. I'll tell you what I do quite like, actually, is you mentioned that you've got like quite a small team together. And the word team I find quite interesting, because I've noticed from my experience and from working with lots of trainers is when we talk about marketing, most people that tend to help with the sales and marketing advertising, the fitness industry, tend to be either one-man bands or small group, very, very small groups of people.
Absolutely. You
can kind of tell sometimes that's the case, especially when they bring on, more than maybe 3 or 4 or 5 clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite like the idea that you're actually more of like a marketing agency for the fitness industry, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a bugbear of mine is that the people who sit there and think of themselves as a marketing agency in the fitness industry is actually Bob sat in his bedroom with his 15-year-old MacBook with 3 clients, and that's his marketing agency, and he's trying to do a jack of all trades and probably messing up a vast majority of it. It's something that we're pretty against. My background, as I'm sure we'll come on to, is in more traditional digital marketing and traditional marketing agencies. So I try and bring, and we don't get it 100% right, but I try and bring a lot of that experience into what we offer to the fitness industry, because when I got involved in the fitness space, it was really needed. It was just all those sort of one-man band bedroom marketeers who were creating a bad name for the industry, really. So that was what we tried to get away from, to be honest.
Cool. Well, since you mentioned there, kind of like how you kind of got into all this background issue, I mean, do we kind of like take it right back to how this all started? So, other than just saying like, how did you get into marketing? How did that whole journey kind of start? I know you kind of went to university originally, but what do you want to tell us about that and what kind of happened there? And
I'm not sponsored by Diet Coke. I'm just really
just checking.
Yeah, so I taking it really far back. My parents' background, my dad's an architect. My mum is sales director for some of the biggest tech companies in the world. The last companies she worked for were Oracle, who, if anyone knows, sort of tech and IT, are massive, one of the big infrastructure providers to like the NHS and big corporate as well. So I was always kind of interested in sales, marketing, and understanding from, especially my mum's business, how all that went, or the industry she was in, how all that went together. So, and university was always positioned as something that I should definitely do. My parents, rightly, I think, were, look, university, especially at that point in time, so 10, 12, 15 years ago, university was seen as the thing that gave you more options. Where we are now is completely different. And the landscape, I believe, for education has immeasurably changed.
Definitely agree with you.
Yeah, so then, like, to get more options, to look down different routes of what your potential career would be, university was the right choice. And business, marketing, media, all that type of stuff was the things that I chose at GCSE and A level, and they were the things I studied really heavily. So that was a natural progression for me. So I managed to scrape into Sheffield Hallam by the skin of my teeth, and went and did 2 years of a 4-year business and marketing degree at Sheffield Hallam. And I was fortunate enough to get some work experience positions at some really big companies. Our next door neighbour was heavily involved in the ill-fated Accident Group, which was a huge claims company that were based in Manchester city centre. Anyone who's from the Northwest will know them. They were a huge employer, had amazing offices on King Street in Manchester, and they went bump in very, very auspicious circumstances. But then when I was doing work experience, they were a huge business, and I got asked to go, or I was invited to go and work in the marketing team because our next door neighbour was on the board of directors. So I went and worked there for summers and school holidays and did my actual work experience there and what have you. And the things that I was seeing being implemented in a very traditional marketing, or a business that relied on very traditional print and press marketing sort of scope and landscape, that wasn't getting used. Things I was learning at university weren't getting used in that business. It just wasn't the same. They were very heavily looking at digital as their next step, and they were doing a lot of display advertising, and they were using traditional marketing. But what I was learning at uni wasn't really what I was putting into practice there. And I just kind of I was never amazing at education anyway. It was never something that came naturally to me at all. So it was just a natural thing for me to look at something different. So I left uni, I dropped out halfway through the second year, came home to Warrington, which is in between Liverpool and Manchester, and looked for a job, and I ended up working for one of the big bookmakers. It's actually the biggest independent bookmaker in the UK. Luckily, their head office was 20 minutes down the road from us, and they had quite a young marketing team, like 5 staff, all fresh out of university graduates. I actually started work there, but didn't get the marketing role for 3 months. I had to just get any job within their business and then move into the marketing role. So for 3 months, I worked on the gaming support hotline, which meant that I had to answer calls from people who didn't know how to up their online game account or system, which was interesting. Doing night shifts with people who are playing online poker till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, that type of stuff. But then they moved me into the marketing team, and I kind of learned and was self-taught a lot and self-studied from the other guys that were in that marketing team. And we had a really great level of success. That business went from very, very small online to, back then it was hundreds of millions. Now I think they do billions online. It's a huge, huge part of their business. And I left that company when they moved all of their online gaming to Gibraltar for tax reasons. They moved all over there, and they said we could relocate. And I ended up saying no, I'll move on. And then went and worked in digital marketing agencies. That was the thing that then was where I moved to next. Was given a sales and sort of managerial role within a marketing agency that supplied small businesses. And when I say small businesses, your one-man band, builders, roofers, driving instructors type guys, bed and breakfasts, electricians, plumbers, with digital marketing services. So like websites and traditional SEO, that was what we sold. So I went and worked in an agency like that for a few years, moved around a few different ones, and then was asked and invited back from the very first agency I worked in to set up a new brand within their company, which was very much the type of marketing that I was an advocate of and a fan of, which is the value first, very sort of conversion focused and customer value focused, where we don't just go, hey, look, we're amazing, buy all of our stuff because we think we're great. It's more around this value, what I call a value ladder and an ascension path from, hey, here's what we are as a business, what we do, who we work with, how we work. Here's things that you can action and implement yourselves, and then presenting sales opportunities once you've developed a relationship. And so I set that business up within this group of companies. It did reasonably well. And at that point, that's when fitness came onto my radar. My friend, business partner, friend first and foremost, business partner second, Suk Sidhu, who owns and runs onlinefitnessbusiness.com. He set up some gyms. He set up a couple of gyms, or he set up our gym in our local town. And kind of came to me and said, look, we've got this gym. It's, I think at the time, 5,000 square foot. We've put every penny of money, he had a business partner at the time, put every penny of money that we had into this gym. And I need to figure out how to market it effectively. I think he had 30 or 40 clients. He was working with a guy in the States running Facebook ads, and it was going pretty well, but he wanted someone on the ground in the UK who could just help him. So I came in and said, cool, I'll see if I can help. We've used Facebook in our agency, and I think it's something that could work. And he was running a CrossFit gym at the time when CrossFit was very new in the UK. Mm-hmm. And so there was a premium being attached to that, which was pretty high ticket for a facility at that time. And I just saw how easy it was to bring scale into a gym like that, and bring in real big chunks of revenue for not a lot of cost on social. But then saw the same things that you alluded to at the start of this live stream, where it was kind of guys in the bedroom, not really knowing what they were doing, getting a bit lucky because Facebook was a different landscape back then. It was very easy to drive leads into a business, but being very, hey, look, we're a gym, buy our stuff, which all Facebook ads for fitness were at back then. But there was no longevity to it. It was only a matter of time before the platform got overwhelmed with people doing the same stuff, or B, Facebook changed the rules. And actually both things happened. They changed the rules and it got overwhelmed. So at that point I pivoted and I exited the agency that I was in and that I'd set up, and set up what turned into Clicks into Customers then. And it was, I'll hold my hands up and be the first to admit that at that point it was just me in my bedroom pretty much. Luckily I had a lot of experience working with clients. My last agency had 17,000 small business clients, 90 staff, a lot going on. So there was elements that I knew would work and that I could bring into the services we supplied into facilities at that point, that anyone else probably wouldn't have had the experience of. But that was when fitness came onto my radar, and we started looking at how we could provide. Not like Facebook ads for me is the current channel, it's the current trend, but the things that we teach, the wisdom that we impart to our clients, and the methodology that we create is cross-channel. It could go on YouTube, it could go on Facebook, it could go on Instagram, it could go on Pinterest if you so desired. It's a methodology that suits. It's a principle as opposed to a specific tactic for a specific platform. Just Facebook right now is the one that gets us the easiest return. And that's the thing that we're massive advocates of. So fast forward to where we are now, we work with facilities all over the world, and drive new leads, new sales, and new inquiries into them every day. That's kind of what we're here to do.
That's so cool. That's an awesome story as well. You can
Thank you.
a really awesome story. See how it kind of progresses over time, and
Yeah,
the
exactly.
experience behind you as well is. I just like the idea that you've got this different perception of what marketing could be compared to what I've seen a lot of recently in the industry, which is kind of cool. As you was chatting there, you kind of talked a bit about some of the things you talked about, like value first and the value ladder and those kind of things, and also this methodology that you generally apply with your clients and stuff on there.
Yeah.
So I probably haven't got time to go into all that much detail, obviously, in the next on here. But one of the things I tend to get asked a lot with the people I tend to work with is kind of where would you advise to start first? The coaches and stuff that actually really struggle with these first steps, and kind of there's a massive minefield of information out there, and I think sometimes just a little point in the right direction would be a good place to go. So if you was to say what's the best first step to take in terms of marketing or advertising your maybe online business in specific, but that we're going to talk about, what would you say that is?
Research. Doing the boring stuff that no one tells you about and understanding who buys from you is the most important thing that you can do. So many, and this is not unique to the fitness industry. This is, like I said before, we had 17,000 small business clients in our old agency across every different vertical you can imagine. Funeral directors were a huge part of our business. And, everyone says, you can be sure of two industries that will never go bum: accountants and the funeral industry, because everyone's going to need to pay taxes and everyone's going to die, and that's right. But so the funeral industry was one part that we were a huge part, hugely involved in. But every business does this: is they stop thinking about what their customers want and start thinking about what's easiest, most profitable, or their least resistance for them products to put out into the marketplace. And if you can research and understand what your clients actively look for, need, their problems, the things that they suffer with, the issues that they face when it comes to your vertical, in this case fitness or nutrition, and they need support with those problems. If you can identify, research, and understand those problems first, you'll beat 95% of your competition anyway, because you're actually thinking about what people want as opposed to what's great, easy, or feels great for you. So many coaches and personal trainers and even gyms get caught up in talking about the very technical aspects of nutrition or training, or very, very specific enzyme releases for stuff or hormonal releases, which is great. And I imagine that so many people are hugely knowledgeable and they've got a great fountain of knowledge and wealth of knowledge. But does that really affect Jane, the 35-year-old mum of two, who just wants to look on holiday? Probably not. And that's where so many people make a mistake. Like, if your content is there only to massage your own ego and make yourself feel great about the knowledge and depth of knowledge you've got, amazing. But most of the time it's there to bring in new clients. And that's the key thing that people miss, is what are the problems that your current clients are facing? Because if your current clients are facing those problems, potential new clients will be facing those problems. And then how best can you communicate easy to implement solutions to those problems? So people are very scared of giving away like too much info. Like, if I talk about all of the things that I've got that will get them results, then why would they pay me? That's not why people pay, especially in the fitness industry. That's not why people pay you. People pay for accountability and support as opposed to the actual technical information that you give them. So being able to communicate, look, if these are some of the things that you can implement right now to increase your total energy expenditure each day, to start losing weight without having to go to the gym and work out 5 times a week. That's great advice. And although that might form part of your coaching model, that's great advice that's actionable for any 35-year-old mum of 2 who wants to look better on holiday. She can action that. So if you can communicate that point to them really, really easily and on a level that they understand, in a way that they understand and can consume, which most of the time is through video, which I'm a massive advocate of, then that's a great place to start. Understand the pain points that your clients are in and create easily consumable content for them to then action some of that advice that you give them.
Cool. I do love that as well, that you said there about what people want and the differences writing like for what your clients want compared to what you want. There's something I literally see every single day, and it's Yeah, it's so hard to get over there sometimes. Like you're really not everything you do. You know, the things on your website. If you've got a website, the content you put out there on any social media, it's always the same, isn't it? It should be about what your client wants and not what you want. At the end of the day.
I mean, sometimes I write articles and blogs and posts on Facebook, which are to satisfy my own interests or my own technical acumen for something. So I might write something about a Facebook pixel, which I know like 90% of my audience aren't going to really understand or really even care about that much, but it's there to satisfy my own interest in it. And I went out and researched it and did it and wrote it and published it. And that's fine. But if it's the only thing that you produce and the only content you produce, and then you wonder why you don't get any leads from Facebook, but the girl on Instagram who does like the booty blast things and only those booty videos gets loads of clients. Well, she gets it because she's actually appealing to what the masses think that they need. Whereas your job as an ethical coach who knows more than that is to educate them on the things that they actually do need, but in a way that's easy for them to understand. Don't get upset if like Susan from down the road goes and spends 30 quid on like an Ashy Bynes booty blast instead of your program. It's because she communicated better as to the thoughts and feelings and emotions that Susan had than you did. That's why she bought it.
Cool. So you mentioned there a couple of times about, obviously, once you've done this research, you found out exactly what it is your clients want you to communicate that with your audience, if you like, you know, the clients that you're potentially going to get. So what would be your kind of top 3 ways of doing that, or 3 types of content, or 3 things you could put out there in order to try and communicate that with your audience?
So depending on who your audience is, and most of the time for most online coaches, online trainers, online PTs or online coaches, I would still recommend for them to target an audience on a local level. If I was running a Facebook ad, I would still recommend them to run an ad on a local level. The reason being is because most of the guys who are running ads right now for their boutique consultancy or their online personal training business, they won't have the budgets to reach the entire subsection of their audience nationwide. So I would still recommend them to target on a local level. So within all of the marketing activity that we create for our clients, our own businesses, and the businesses that I consult for, we still recommend a three-level content strategy. First piece of content being what's called alignment content. Alignment content, as the name suggests, is valuable content I can implement which aligns me with your values as a business and as a brand. So like I said to you before, if it's 5 things you can do at home as a busy mum to increase your energy expenditure and lose weight without having to go to the gym. Great piece of content, create that if that's your avatar. So create that piece of content, run it out to a local audience, women, age range, area spread. The next piece of content we recommend to create is case studies or testimonials, which we call awareness content. Why is it called awareness content? Because it makes a potential client aware of how you help people who look exactly like them. So a testimonial, social proof in effect, case studies are the most valuable way of me understanding how you can help me, because I see someone who's gone through the journey I want to go through, got the results I'm craving, I see that they've done it, and I go, okay, cool. That means Ash can help me because I've seen someone who looks just like me gone through the journey. Create that piece of content, run that out to the same audience. And then the final piece of content that we ask people to create is called an engagement piece of content. This is the content that everyone already just does, which is the sales stuff. It's the, hey, look at me, buy my stuff. But because you've done the other 2 bits first, it means that you've got a higher likelihood of people actually wanting to buy from you, as opposed to counting on the 0.1% of people who may be in the right frame of mind to make an inquiry, because you've brought people through, you've aligned them with your values, you've made them aware of how you help people, and you've engaged them with an offer which is relevant to them. So there are 3 pieces of content that we always recommend that clients run. We go out and film for all of our clients. We have an in-house videographer who works for our agency who goes out and films all this content for our clients. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend is create that piece of those 3 pieces of content and just be consistent with it. The worst thing I hear from the students that we mentor in onlinefitnessbusiness.com, the businesses I work with and mentor myself, or clients I've worked with previously, is, oh, look, I've tried everything. I've tried everything on Facebook. It just doesn't work. How long did you do it for? A week. Okay. How long did you do it for? 30 days. Okay. try it for the next like 90 days, be consistent and stick to a schedule of putting out those pieces of content, and then tell me if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, then I'll hold my hands up. I'll refund you every penny you've spent. I guarantee you, if you follow those 3 steps and run that content consistently with great quality behind it for the next 90 days, you will have more clients then than you started with, 100%.
I'll tell you what I find really interesting. Over the past probably couple of months now, I've been interviewing, like I mentioned at the start, there's loads of different people on here. And almost every trainer, for all of them actually, every trainer I spoke to and every kind of industry expert I spoke to from all different parts of the industry have all said almost exactly the same thing at that point, as that thing about time. No one seems to give anybody any time. It's like this all the time. I think if you just give something time and just trust the process and just trust the system, most of the time it'll work.
It's sort of the nature of modern society now, where we're so used to things being so instantaneous. We can get things so quickly. Amazon Prime now was like the worst invention ever, because I can get anything delivered to my house within an hour or 2 hours, which is just ridiculous really when you think about it. But that's just indicative of modern society. Everyone just expects something to happen instantly, and it doesn't. Like I said right at the top of this interview, doing the boring stuff, so being consistent, showing up every day, delivering value, proving that you can do what you say you do through great quality testimonials and creating offers and products that people actively want. Unfortunately, it's not as long, it's not as easy as instant, but do that consistently over time, and like I say, you'll have more clients than you started with.
Awesome. So let's just quickly recap some of that stuff. So probably the first thing they need to do is research, understand who it is they're actually, who they're speaking to, basically. They try to find out. So digging deep, do the boring stuff and get the research in. And then once you've done that, create content around alignment and awareness to start off with, and just let people, be in line with what they're talking about and get it out there. Just quickly, guys, as well, if I've got any questions at all, please do put them into the comments. I do have some questions that have actually popped in already.
Cool.
One of them I actually have worked with. His name's Paul, and he's just launching a product at the moment, an online product, and he's just started putting ads out there. He's writing the ads himself. He has done some research into it, like he's told me his research, but he knows his kind of avatar pretty well. And I would say he's probably doing this kind of alignment content at the moment. Yeah, he's struggling to get any kind of like conversion on these ads, I suppose, what I would say.
Okay.
And I kind of think I know where some of this has gone wrong with what you've actually just said there. Okay. You mentioned there about how people target stuff. Now, I know, for example, on his ad, he's targeting basically over 40s who are, his avatar's basically over 40s who were athletes, have been, drained out, not fit, not in the prime anymore, want to get back to where they want to be again and kind of become the superhero again. Yeah. And he's targeting them, but his target range, for example, is UK, America, and Australia all in one go. Yeah. And it's not throwing a huge budget at it. So I'm assuming that will have quite a big impact on why he's not getting a lot of eyes on his
absolutely. Even if he's spending $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month, his budget will be eaten up so quickly with that size of audience, so quickly. So focus on UK, focus more niche than UK, maybe a 50-mile, 100-mile radius from where he's at right now. Become locally famous first and then expand from there. We worked with and still consult with an absolutely great guy called Steve Bradley. He runs an amazing business called thefitnessguy.uk. It's a ladies weight loss program, 10-week lean and learn program. Amazing guy. We worked with him for a full year. Steve had a little change in business, so we just consult for him now and advise him on what he does. Steve became famous in Aberdeen first, then became famous in Scotland, then became famous in Scotland and in England, and then rolled out to the UK. And it's only in like the about 6-8 months that he started targeting the whole of the UK. He still made, was making 350, 400 sales a month for his program through the marketing activity that we created for him. But that's still with like selective targeting. You think about, for me, let's say 50-mile radius of where I live in Cheshire. There's Liverpool, Manchester, and other towns and cities around it, which would probably bring me an audience of like 3-4 million people. If I drill down into just age range, let's say for this chap, you said sort of 40 plus. So I'd say if it's He'd probably be going like 40 to late 50s, maybe 60s, I would say. 20-year age swing. That might drill down to like 1 million, let's say. And then if he did some targeting around, I don't know, maybe he looked at like Ironman or road cycling, those types of interests, which would say...
like triathlon stuff he does. And,
yeah. So let's say if they were sort of looking down that line, Ironman, triathlon, road cycling, Team Sky, some of those interests, tested those, it might drill down to like 500,000, between 100,000 and 500,000. Getting known by those 100,000 to 500,000 people by consistently putting out content to those people first is going to be way better for him than spending that budget on UK, US, Canada, Australia, and just hitting the age demographic, because he's just not going to get the visibility. His budget's going to go like that. To give you an idea, for some of our biggest clients in the UK, we still target like London and Manchester and Liverpool and target population centres so that we can just be seen all the time in those areas.
Cool. I hope that helps, Paul. Anyway, I know he's watching at the moment.
Great.
Not saying much, but I know he's watching, so hopefully that helps. I have actually mentioned, Paul, about reaching out to you at some point. So I know we've got some other questions to quickly go over. That's okay. But if anyone watching now would like to reach out and get in touch with you about maybe helping them on their advertising side, how would they do that?
Add me on Facebook, facebook.com/STECRAVN. So Steve Craven. Stephen at clicksintocustomers.co.uk is the other way. Or if they just hit clicksintocustomers.co.uk, hit the link on the form, it'll take them through some pre-qualification questions. And if they hit some of those metrics, it'll ask them to book a call. Feel free to.
Awesome, cool. We kind of alluded to some of this already. So someone mentioned me back about Google ads compared to like, you went through the list of stuff there, I guess, about Facebook and so basically all the social media platforms you talked about then, but you didn't really mention anything about Google. What are your thoughts on Google ads?
Love them. I think they're amazing. They're still, because Facebook have become so popular for small and medium-sized enterprise, especially in the fitness space, they're massively undervalued still now for fitness businesses. And Google are, because they're so ahead of the curve, they've existed so much longer in terms of paid advertising than Facebook, is a lot of the workload is done for you. It's just about crafting a decent bit of copy, because it's such a small ad, and then creating a really great landing page or inquiry page or what have you afterwards. So the variables are smaller. Just be aware, again, the same adage that I mentioned around Facebook, it is even more apparent here. If you suddenly say, oh, I've got a budget of £1,000 to spend and I want online personal trainer with no location targeting, your budget will probably go in an hour. You'll be paying £6 or £7 a click and your budget will literally go in an hour. So be very careful about budgets, targeting, and be very careful around like the phrases that you use around AdWords. Be more long tail. So if you are a triathlon online coach or a triathlon coach, or if you're a senior fitness coach or whatever it might be, you only work with people over a certain age range, be that specific. You just put online personal trainer, you'll probably spend £1,000 in a minute. So be careful.
Be careful with that. Cool. What else have we got on here then? I think you mentioned a bit earlier on lead magnets. Someone's asking here, a lot of the lead magnets that they have, they use things like PDF downloads, recipe books and things like that. What would you think are the best lead magnets? I've got my own opinion on lead magnets and what I think work well and what doesn't. But what would you say would be a good approach for lead magnets?
Like the vast majority of people don't want a recipe book. Like the vast majority. And to counter that though, I think that videos around recipes and recipe content is great, but a recipe book is really overplayed. So I wouldn't say that was necessarily the best thing for offering. Anything that, and I allude back to how I answered previously, anything that is easily actionable for someone without it taking them the next 5 weeks to do the thing, something that they can impact and implement quickly, easily, and get results from effectively, is always going to be like a really, really great way of working. Now, most lead magnets have a caveat against them that they're customer avatar, customer profile specific. I'd say that like workout plans for like Gen Pop probably isn't that great either. But then again, I caveat that with, if your target demographic is younger guys who are interested in fitness already, have been going to the gym and plateaued, then giving them a new structure to their workouts is actually interesting to them, because they would buy into that, something different, you know, if it's a different training protocol or a different way of doing things. One of the best lead magnets I ever worked on was for a guy called Nick Cheadle. He's a really, really well-known Optimum Nutrition sponsored athlete, Gymshark athlete. We worked with him for a long time. And one of the best lead magnets we worked on with Nick was a download on the 10 biggest myths of bodybuilding exposed. And it was around post-workout protein intake, carbs after 8 p.m., all the things that the typical bros believe. He was dispelling those myths. But because he was, you know, he's a super in shape Australian dude who's like the Hulk on earth. He's like absolutely massive. They believe the things that he says because he walks the walk. He looks like they want to look like. But then he dispelled all those myths. That was one of the best lead magnets I ever worked on. It had 65,000 downloads or something obscene. And yeah, so that type of thing works amazingly well. So again, be specific to your avatar, and it falls under that research area. Like, what are the things that people are struggling with? Can you solve that problem in something easily consumable? Great, solve that problem for them.
Cool. This is quite interesting why she popped in. Why are Facebook ads so hard to get approved for fitness people?
Because most people are shady, or not most people, but because lots of people lied about the things that they could do within their Facebook ads to drive shitloads of leads. Excuse me, swearing. To drive loads of leads into their business. So in the good old days of Facebook ads, I could run saying lose a stone in the next 60 days with XYZ gym, show a before and after picture, and send people into an opt-in or a lead magnet or a funnel to buy something, and we could do all that stuff. So the shady marketers of this world who sell the ketone tea, whatever it is, and the shrink wrap that you put around your stomach to lose 6 pounds, those guys messed it up for the rest of you. So you can still communicate the things that most people get rejected for in your copy and content on Facebook, but you've got to do it in an authentic way. So like I mentioned to you before about your awareness content, your testimony and case study content, we still talk about the amount of weight that someone's lost over the course of a period of time in that content, but we do it in content, and we do it from the perspective of Jane, the mum who's worked with us for the last 3 months, and she talks about how, yes, she's lost inches, pounds, dress sizes, whatever she wants, but she also talks about the other effects it's had on her life. So we still communicate that message, which, you know, I'm imagining that's probably what this person's alluding to in the question is, why can't I say she lost 3 stone if she lost 3 stone? You can, but you have to do it in a way which isn't lose 3 stone in the next 90 days. You have to do it unsensationally. You have to just show the actual evidence of it. And that's through testimonials, case studies, and being authentic with the things that you offer.
Cool. That's probably the best answer I've ever heard for that, to be fair, when people have talked about it before. I'm aware of the time, so I don't want to keep you too long.
Don't worry. I put an hour out, so if you want some more time, don't worry.
Cool. Happy days. In which case then, when should someone start marketing or advertising for their new online business? That's what I'm asking.
They should always be marketing it.
Yeah.
So if they specifically mean when should they be running paid advertising?
I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah. So, or spending money on advertising from that perspective. Only when they've reached the point that they've exhausted other channels. A lot of the time when a brand new business comes to me and says, hey, we're a brand new business, we've I've got some money to invest in my company or into my marketing or advertising. Most of the time I'll tell them to go away for 3 months and do other things before they spend on paid advertising, most of the time. Unless they just say to me, look, we're really geared up towards this and this, we want to scale effectively or rapidly or what have you. Most of the time I'll tell them to go away and do something else first, because there's loads of different things that they can do, which just is more of an investment in their time and energy that will bring results for them before then they need to invest their hard-earned cash into paid advertising. So there's cash equity. There's them spending cash to get their stuff in front of people, communicate with more people effectively, and get more eyes on their stuff. Or there's sweat equity. There's them going out and just doing the work. And most of the time, I say spend your time, put some hard sweat into it first before you go spend on advertising. A really good example of this would be a student that we have on onlinefitnessbusiness.com, a guy called Jack Gadd, lovely guy, really hardworking, worked in an engineering role, massive interest in training, coaching, had performed on stage and won many an event in a bodybuilding and physique show area, done really well, and wanted to sort of take a business online and start coaching people. He got to, I'd say, 20 online clients at a really nice price point for him, 100, 200 quid a month, before he ever spent a penny on paid advertising. He just was consistent with his content on Instagram and on Facebook, did the hard work, did the hard yards, did the graft, and then started tweaking things, adding paid into the mix. So although that's not a sexy question if you should do it right away and spend loads of money right now, my honest opinion for most people's online coaching businesses is that how many clients do you really need in order to make this business a success? Like the answer for most people is like between 20 and 50 clients based on the price point is a great business for them. If you're charging 150 quid a month, 20 clients is delivering you a decent amount of revenue. If it's, that's your only source of income, that's a decent amount of money in for the vast majority of people. It's above the national average wage in the UK anyway. So if that's what you want and that's what you need from it, I would be amazed if you just couldn't go out with a content strategy, like I've mentioned, across organic social media, in Facebook groups and other areas, going out to speak at your local gym if they don't have a nutrition expert there, or if they do, then if you can go to coffee mornings, if you can go to other areas, go to business networking events and speak about how you help business owners lose weight or get in shape, whatever your vertical is, going to where your people already are and doing the hard yards to generate online clients will still work amazingly well for you. Getting referrals from your existing clients, which so many people forget about, will work amazingly well for you. So the answer is, when you're comfortable and when you're ready to do so, putting yourself in financial hardship just to run a Facebook ad is not a great idea.
I do kind of like that approach. A lot of people seem to forget, well, I've noticed a lot of people seem to forget anyway, that even when you're online, the principles in terms of how you grow your business are still not really hugely different from what you would do if you were doing like brick and mortar or in person or any other business. It's
not at all.
The idea that you first go and speak to your people people you can get in touch with, you go build partnerships with other people, you just go and, like say, speak at places, referrals and stuff like that. Just because it's not always necessarily done over a computer doesn't necessarily mean it's still not an online business you're trying to grow. And I think that's forgot about sometimes.
Absolutely. One of the key principles we teach at onlinefitnessbusiness.com around getting your first clients, one of the principles, there's a lot of them that we teach around getting that client, and none of them include paid advertising to start with, but one of the principles we teach is about not being afraid to take on a certain amount of clients to start with for free, to prove the concept that you can do what you say you can do. If you've got 0 clients, 0 social proof, you've never done it before, but you know you can get the results, take on 5 clients for free, work with them for the next 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever you say that it's going to be, make them adhere to what you do, document the process. And then I imagine if you've got them somewhere near the result that they want, they'd want to stay with you anyway, first and foremost. But also it gives you a load of marketing material where you can go out to to your own network and say, cool, I took these 5 people, I got them to this result. Here's how we did it in basic terms. Do you want some of this? If so, get in touch with me. That's the best marketing you can do. So don't be afraid of going out and doing that. In effect, that's kind of what I did with my marketing agency when we first started. Although it wasn't free, we did it for a very, very low cost. I was going out basically at the cost, basically to keep my household afloat. I went out at a really, really low cost, delivered the service, documented it, and then went to the gyms that I knew in my local area and walked through the door with an iPad and said, this is what I've done. This is how many sales we've got. This is how many new clients we've got. Do you want some of that? Well, yeah, I do. Cool. So this is how we do it. And we upped our pricing from there. So that's probably the one. If you take nothing else from this conversation, not being afraid to prove that you can do your job and do it for free for a period of time with people, show them the results you can get, and then offer them the product at the rate that you're going to sell them. And if they don't buy from you, the documented journey that you've taken them on will get you more clients anyway.
Yeah. Just quickly on that point as well, I know no one's actually asked it yet, but I know what a lot of people think, because the idea of free programs, if you like 12 weeks or long-term programs, has been thrown around a lot recently, especially in the PTD Facebook group. And a lot of issues that people have is if they offer something for free, that the person they're offering it to isn't always financially invested in it, so they might not stick to the program and get them to it. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but from my point of view, I always think that if you set the boundaries to start off with, you're clear about what you want to do, and you have your coaching around that, then it shouldn't be an issue. They should just carry on doing it. Anything else? I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that or not.
If someone doesn't adhere to your program, it's because you didn't do a good enough job of imparting how important it was that they adhered to it, first and foremost. And if they aren't financially invested in the result that you're getting them, you didn't do a good enough job qualifying them beforehand.
Yeah.
Simple. If they don't stay with you long term, there can be other extenuating circumstances around it. But as I say, that time's still not wasted as long as you documented the journey that you took them on, the results you got with them. It creates marketing material. I understand, and within our agency, we're hugely against the whole free challenge as our only marketing message and model. A lot of what we do with our agency is around what we call our front end offer, fixed rate, fixed term product. And that's so that we can deliver immediate ROI. A lot of they call them competitors in this space, but they're not competitors to us, in the sort of gym marketing space, tell you to offer a free program, bring people in on it's free, but you take a deposit and then give them deposit back at the end if they're successful. You don't, and you have no. And this is taught within these guys' programs. You have no intention of giving that deposit back. What you do at the end of your period of time is say, "Cool, yeah, you've succeeded, but we're going to give you as a credit on future training," which to me is just completely out of order. We're not about that. Our methodology is around offering value first, creating an element of them knowing who you are, liking what you've got to say, and trusting that you can get results, and then offering a fixed rate, fixed term product that will show them how you can help them specifically at low risk to them, but there's still a financial transaction so that you're paid for your time effectively. That's not to say that free can't be built into your marketing mix as something to offer at a period of time. OnlineFitnessBusiness.com has just finished a free program for 7 days where we gave 450 odd personal trainers, coaches, or what have you, 7 days of free education where we showed them how to get results with their online fitness business. And we did that for free, but then we offered them our product and service afterwards, and a really high percentage of those people took us up on our offer. And that as a marketing activity is great. You know, everyone was aware that we were probably going to ask them if they wanted to buy something from us later down the line, but we didn't say, "Oh, you can only have the free thing that we've got if you buy from us, and we might give you some money back later." Authenticity and being just not being shady is probably the best advice I can give you around running a business. Free can work, and free is amazing as part of your marketing mix. It shouldn't be the only thing that you offer.
Cool, awesome. Okay, obviously I'm aware the time is coming up to an hour now, and I appreciate you staying on a bit longer than what
no problem.
anticipated. Cool, so there's awesome stuff there you mentioned. Let me just quickly recap some of that. Research, dig deep, understand your clients to start off with, and then giving out your 3 lots of basic types of content again. So alignment, awareness, and basically the sales side of it. I can't remember what you called the last one. What's the
engagement?
Engagement, that was it, engagement. Which is awesome stuff. We talked a lot about the paid ad side of stuff. We mentioned about where they can go if people want help with that.
Yep.
We've obviously talked a little bit there at the end about kind of, I don't know, we would call it the organic side of stuff, if you like, where you do stuff like paying. Where can people go to get help with that? Like if they're just starting out in this world and need to do some more organic side of stuff before they start investing money into paid ads, what would be the next best step for them?
In terms of resources to learn, or
either resources, or can they work with you guys? And we talked about the OFB a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Paid marketing is a very, very small section of onlinefitnessbusiness.com's syllabus, a very small section. Like I said, Jack is one of our students, and he has only introduced paid into his business now at like 40 odd clients. So paid is a very, very small part of that syllabus. If any PTD subscribers, is that the terminology we use?
Yeah, members, subscribers.
Subscribers. So if any of the subscribers or members wanted help with their organic positioning, content creation, and how to generate leads from Instagram and Facebook organically, onlinefitnessbusiness.com, facebook.com/onlinefitnessbusiness, I think, or Succeed OFB on Instagram, I think is Suc's Instagram handle. They're great places to go. Every single day there will be content which you can go and implement for free. We drink our own Kool-Aid. We do the things that I'm telling you now. We do them in that business. So every day there will be content on Facebook, on Instagram stories, on our email list if they're not on there. And then we have a really, really great ebook called The Flood of Leads. So if you go to onlinefitnessbusiness.com/flood of leads, I believe. Let me just check that for you. Check that URL. I believe it is that. And download the ebook. They will. There's a really, really great ebook on how to get clients online without spending any money. None of those methodologies around Facebook ads. So yeah, it's onlinefitnessbusiness.com/flood-of-leads. I'll send you a message with it.
I'm going to say all these links we talked about, guys. I'll pop them into the comments so you can find them as well. I'll check them out.
Hit that. Download the ebook. I think there's 10 methods in there which will help you fill your online fitness business with targeted leads without spending a penny on Facebook ads. That's the actual title of the book. So feel free to download that, and that'll give you a really good set of methods that you can use to generate new leads.
Awesome. Happy days. Cool. Well, I think we've covered most of the questions and stuff there. Thank you so much for coming to join us on here. It's been absolutely amazing. Again, thank you for staying a bit longer as well.
No worries.
Ask a few questions on there. Like I mentioned already, I'm going to pop the links into the comments so you can check all these different things out. I know we talked about a lot of links here, a lot of different things, so they'll all be down there for you to have a look. And like I say, you can always go and add Stephen on to Facebook and get involved with some of the stuff that he does as well. Awesome. Cool. Right, cheers, Stephen. Thank you very much. I appreciate all that. And thank you very much, guys. I'll be back on Monday afternoon with another interview, but I'll tell you about that a bit later on. Awesome. Thanks. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
All the best.